I think that the approach here is showing Florida leading the way again, because I think there's other states that are probably going the different direction. But here are some of the highlights. The bill ensures that neither the state nor local governments can close business or keep kids out of in-person instruction unless they satisfy demanding and continuous justifications. One of the things I think has been so problematic about this is that there are different policies that have been enacted, particularly in other parts of the country, different restrictions or mandates, and they're done. And then even when the evidence refutes the effectiveness or the need or the justification for them, they continue on, and sometimes they're even re-upped. This changes that and makes sure that people are protected. It also says that any local emergency order, excluding hurricane emergencies, are capped at 7-day increments and may only be extended to a maximum duration of 42 days. And most importantly, as governor, I'll have the authority to invalidate a local emergency order if it unnecessarily restricts individual rights or liberties.
Florida fighting back against COVID tyranny. God bless Ron DeSantis. This is what we need to see. This is how it needs to be. No more of what I saw in Texas, where, sure, Governor Abbott got rid of the statewide mask mandate, but Austin is still a bunch of leftist lunatics masking up, double masking outside. No more of that, at least not in Florida, at least not after July 1st. No vaccine passports either. Taking action now to prevent the continued neurotic tyranny of the Fauciites. It has to stop. I've been telling you this all along. It will not stop until we make it stop. And that's why you see the approach in Florida versus, say, the approach in New York, where Governor Cuomo is telling everybody in a couple of weeks you'll have businesses at full capacity, except they're still going to have a 6-foot distancing rule. Well, what the heck is that? That just means that restaurants can't have all their tables. That means that you do have de facto capacity limits and you're going to have masking. So what really is better? Well, he needs to get people to stop thinking about all the sexual harassment and death of senior citizens in nursing homes that occurred under his watch or as a result of his decision making. So whatever he can do now to get the news cycle focused on how he's a leader, that's what really matters. Anybody talking about what a great job Gavin Newsom has done in California? Nope. The Democrat blue states are a mess. They don't make sense anymore. What they are up to with COVID lockdowns is absurd. Oh, I also want to give credit where it is due. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt has said the following. Play 4.
On March 15th, 2020, I declared a state of emergency to fight against COVID-19. And over the course of the last year, I've issued dozens of executive orders to make sure we stayed proactive in our response to this virus. My promise has always been to make decisions based on the data in our state, not what's happening anywhere else. And here's what the data in Oklahoma shows. Our 7-day average of new cases is down 94% from its peak. And our new cases per capita are some of the lowest in the country. Hospitalizations, they're down 90%, and they've been stable for 2 months. We've administered more than 2.5 million doses of the COVID vaccine, and anyone who wants one can get one. Because Oklahomans used personal responsibility to protect themselves, their families, and our most vulnerable, the data shows COVID-19 is no longer an emergency. That's why I'm withdrawing my emergency declaration effective tomorrow, Tuesday, May 4th.
There we go. Notice how it is the Republican governors in red states who are looking at the actual data and numbers and recognizing that enough is enough. It's time to go back to life. Time to go back to normal. People have had, who are at high risk, plenty of time to get the vaccine. We've gotten over 70% of seniors vaccinated. People have had opportunities to get vaccinated. We cannot hold society hostage until every neurotic lib in Brooklyn and Santa Monica and Northwest D.C. feels like it's safe. Does Fauci think it's safe for me to go outside? You'll notice you don't see this guy Osterholm on TV as much as he used to, and it's because while he is a lockdowner, he's not quite as insane as some of the others. He's not a Fauciite. You know, maybe we should consider that the numbers tell us that in anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 decades, we could have a return to normalcy. So I think that's the scope of what we're working with. Two weeks maybe, or 20 years from now. You know, your kids, your really young babies, maybe when they're, you know, in their quarter life crisis, they can at least say, oh, I can take my mask off now. Fauci's on TV every 5 seconds. The libs are all so scared. Oh my gosh, Fauci will save us. Osterholm you see a lot less of. It's because he's saying things like this that go counter the main messaging from the Biden White House. Play 10.
So I think we still want to be very careful. We still have a lot of work to do. But if you're among vaccinated people, party hard. Party hard. You know, invite people over to your house. Do family-related things. But get vaccinated. If there was ever a time to want to incentivize people to get vaccinated, it's now. Because if you do, you can basically protect yourself and have all the kind of socialization that you want to do. But if you're not vaccinated and you're out in bars and so forth, know that you still have a challenge. I've just got done dealing with 2 cases in the last day. Individuals, young, healthy adults who are in bars who are now in the intensive care units here in Minnesota with COVID. Get vaccinated.
Vaccinated and party hardy. I got to tell you, this is an enormous miss from the Biden administration. Everyone talks about, oh, look at all the shots in arms. It would be way better if people had been told you can go back to normal, but then they'd lose all the control and the fear and the panic, which is the most important thing of all to the Democrats, the control they get from this. Because people would walk around and start living their lives normally, and that's how you get back to normal. But no, we have to hold this trump card, pardon the expression, of until we say so, you don't get to go back to normal, until we determine that the numbers are what we need them to be. They won't tell you that in advance. And one of the reasons that Governor DeSantis in Florida has set up his executive order the way he has is so that mayors can't play the games in Democrat strongholds they have been, where they say, when we get to X, we will give you Y. And then we get to X in terms of COVID numbers and infections. Y doesn't happen. They did that to us in New York City at the beginning or at the first phase of the pandemic. We should have had gyms open all summer, basically. Kept them closed. Why? Because they felt like it. Look at California. You can go to Costco. You can go to a weed store. Can you go to church, though? California says no. Based on what? The science. Only idiots ever believed that. California's secular leftist government is hostile to people of actual religious faith, but they got away with it for a while. They got away with it. I mean, I give credit to Meghan McCain over on The View, who's pointing out that, yeah, this whole notion that the vaccine's not good enough isn't premised on the vaccine's real protective level. It's the neurotic libs want to be able to control everybody still, so that's why they won't let you live your life after you get the vaccine. It is psychotic, as she says. Play 19.
The messaging on this is absolute garbage towards conservatives and Republicans, and it's getting worse. It's a public health crisis. I agree. We should all be vaccinated. I myself am vaccinated. I have no problem with vaccines, but the messaging is psychotic. And I just want to say, in Brookline, Massachusetts, they just rejected in the city the guidance to wear masks outdoors. So if you live in Brookline, Massachusetts, you have to wear a mask outdoors. If you live in Florida, the Surgeon General says you don't have to wear a mask anywhere. And a lot of this feels like it's more about control than science. If the vaccine is 94% effective, which we are told by science and the CDC and all smart people that come on the show it is, if the vaccine works, why do we still have to wear masks outdoors? Why do we have to wear masks inside? And that's also part of the messaging problem, because if you get a vaccine and nothing in your life changes, and I still have to wear a mask everywhere and people still have to wear masks everywhere, then there's not, I'm sorry, but like the way human nature works and human beings work is there has to be an impetus and a reason to get vaccinated to get what you want. And I'm horrified by the way people are talking to Republicans right now in this way. I think we should try and lead people along instead of saying they're dumb morons in the middle of the country that are going to kill everybody. It's just not effective.
Yep. But you know what's really going on here? The libs, the Biden administration, they are terrified that you who listen to this show are going to get your lives back before they've been able to fundamentally transform American society. They stay up awake at night, deeply concerned about the possibility that you may actually be able to, even if you haven't gotten vaccinated, just start going about your life, and you're not going to infect and kill anybody. There's a lot of herd immunity already out there in the population, and this is a virus with an over 99% survival rate, as we know, and you're just going to go about living your life. That they despise that notion. They hate that idea. It's not okay until it's safe enough for them. When is it safe enough? Well, look at Brookline, Massachusetts. Not even the CDC is enough for them. It's safe when they feel safe because they've been watching a lot of CNN, and CNN makes it seem really, really scary to try to breathe fresh air without a mask on. That's where we are as a society. I told you that this is where we were headed. I've told you at every step, just watch, people will cling to their masks even after the authorities finally have to relent. And they haven't relented on all masks. You know what the truth is? We should have no masks for vaccinated people anywhere. I know some of you are yelling right now saying, Buck, we shouldn't have masks mandated, period. And you know that I agree with that. But we lost that battle. We lost that fight. So now at least can we start to win some battles so we don't have to all go around, so I don't have to go in the gym on the treadmill with my mask on like an idiot. Otherwise, someone will come up to me, excuse me, sir, excuse me, you're on a treadmill, where's your mask? I feel unsafe. The world is not a safe space, libs, not from viruses, not from anything. We are all going to die. Make the best use of the time you have. Be purposeful, and don't be a coward every day. That would be my advice for the libs of Brookline. Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.